How to be authentic. How to be authentic. Maybe you've tried it in the past and things didn't go so well. Maybe things got a little bit messy. And so over time we decide that our authenticity is not safe and we'd better pretend to stay out of trouble. And so we lose that authentic expression. And today I want to share with you not about really techniques about authenticity and how to say things and some communication skills, but simply how to put yourself back into that safe space. And that is how to share or how to be authentic so that connection with this other person remains. And it doesn't matter if it's someone you like or don't like. When something needs to be said, it can be said and expressed in the way that leads to more connection than before. I looked up the definition of authenticity at some point, and it said that it means to be real and true to your beliefs. And this is how most people approach authenticity. It's like, oh, I have the right to be angry and now I'm gonna tell you all about it. But what if our beliefs are not based on truth? What if our deeply held beliefs are based on some assumptions that we don't know they are assumptions because we believe them 100% to be true, and we have all the evidence in the world that shows us that we are truly believing the right thing. It's just that when we express our authenticity, it leads to disconnection. And so we continue to pretend and lie, even though a lot of people don't want to admit it. It's just those, how are you doing? I'm fine. Those little lies, even though you're feeling some emotional or financial emergency. We say things like always and never without questioning. Really? Is it really happening this way or that way? Or is there at least one exception in your life? But back to the trick. A little trick that you can do to be authentic. And it has nothing to do with what you say. So that means that you don't have to be thinking about it and rehearsing it in your mind. And of course, then it doesn't come with all that regular guilt tripping afterwards, which takes all of your time. It is a simple way of looking at the situation from the right perspective. And it involves a little bit of a visualization to put ourselves in that right perspective. And so imagine that you need to say something to somebody and you know that it might lead to conflict. And so you avoid it. You'd rather not say it. You'd rather not express your desires or your needs or how you really feel about it. Because you believe that not saying it will somehow lead to more peace in the future. And that's, of course, not the case. And so whenever you talk to somebody and you need to be authentic in that situation, which really, why not all the time? Imagine in your mind that this person is on your team and you're standing together, shoulder to shoulder, and you are looking at the situation both together. So you are essentially not facing each other and trying to have this debate back and forward. You are standing shoulder to shoulder and you have this one vision in common. And I want you to find this common vision that you have, both of you. And then be simply looking at this situation from this space. From this space of curiosity. From this place of not knowing. Because when we think we know, we have so much assumptions running in our heads, and we think we are right and we have all the evidence. And without it, there is this freshness unfolding, which allows us to be authentic. Because the way we express ourselves, it doesn't come as a fight, as a war. It doesn't come from a space from defending my point of view, because I don't know what my point of view is. We are looking at the situation together and we are exploring it like two detectives, like two professional detectives. We are exploring this situation. And from that space, compassion comes up. From that space, you might notice that you feel more relaxed and more soft, more unhurried. Maybe you listen a bit more because you are actually really curious what they say. You're able to hear what they say, so you're able to respond. You're simply staying very open and detective-like. And you are also able to express yourself authentically. Because from this space, anything that you say is authentic. Because there is no fear of trying to protect my point of view. All the conflict comes from that, from trying to protect your self-image. But when there is nothing to protect, you're able to really see. And perhaps they have something to say that you would completely miss before because of your story. And perhaps you discover something that's important for both of you, being on the same page or negotiating from this place. And yes, if you had some communication workshops and read a lot of books about communication, this will come so handy at this point, because now you will know exactly what to say and how to say it. But even without it, I know people who never studied any communication tips and skills, and when they are connected in this way, I'm like, hey, what you're saying is completely just taken out of a book. How do you do that? And it's just something that happens. It's just something that unfolds when we are from that space. When competition disappears. And when there is just a teamwork. Because I guarantee you, if you can be creative enough, you will find a common ground. You will find a common intention. You will find that what you both truly desire is actually the same. And the rest, it's just the test of your creativity and your commitment to awakening. Which is the end of trying to protect that false self-identity that is so sneaky. And the opportunity is in every conversation, whether it happens with the apparent other or if it just happens in your head. And it saves you time, because you never need to know what to say in advance. It is a space for magic to unfold. Let your own words surprise you. Expressing yourself authentically is sharing your feelings, either with yourself or with them, without the blame. And that only happens when you are on the same team, no matter of the situation. Because when you are not on the same team in your mind, and you are somehow a little bit superior to them, or a little bit inferior, what happens is that all your great intentions for peace will only bring more suffering. And so, being authentic is your nature. Being authentic is really embracing and being aware of what's happening, not outside, but also in your imagination, of the stories and beliefs of the past and the future. So you can eventually collapse it and come from a blank state, which is your true nature. You don't have to go very far, and it requires no effort. It is soft, loving, spacious, compassionate, unhurried, and allowing.